Hello, this is Mike with CarChecks. I'm here at this 2017 BMW X1 doing a inspection video. And as I notice things on it, I will point them out. This one is a white color. The front bumper has been repainted before. It's a similar color to the rest of the vehicle, but the paint job is lousy. Okay, headlights are clear. They're BMW. Here's some scratches. It looks like probably somebody's belt buckle or something. Maybe they were working on the car. Got them on this side. Moving on. This is the driver's front wheel and tire. Made in 2017. It's 4/32. The tire's in lousy condition. I wouldn't go very far on that. Brake pad looks like it's got a lot of life left to it. It's been on there a while though. Alright, this is the driver's side rear wheel and tire. Tire made in 2017. Has 7/32. It has tread life left, but it has some pretty serious cracking here. Definitely outdated by weathering age. It's dry rotted, it's not safe. There's the brake pad. Looks very thick, a lot of life. It's been on there a while. Noticing some scratches here on the tail area, on the entry. It's a little darker on this tailpipe. Here's the passenger rear wheel and tire, made in 17. 7/32, just like the other side on the back. This is the driver's front wheel and tire, made in 17, 5/32. The tire's in terrible condition, not usable. Brake pad still has life. The surface of the rotor still looks good and usable. Alright, the engine seems to be running fine. I do not see any smoke coming out the tailpipe. Alright, we're performing a battery test on this 850 cranking amp battery that looks like it's in good condition. Looks like a replacement, not the original. Alright, the battery tested is 100% good. Alright, I just checked the coolant here, looks good and full. Alright, having a look here in the engine. Looks pretty clean. As far as I can tell, looks like they could have changed their oil on the regular. I don't see any sludge. Alright, so as I'm walking around, I'm noticing here there's some bolts missing that hold this front end to the vehicle. There's two missing here. It goes to this support that comes around to here. And there's a couple of them missing on this side as well. I kind of felt like the front end was off when I was driving it. This here doesn't line up. Looks like that should be a little more this way. These are lights from the factory. There's indication the hood was taken off and put back on. Actually, all this is broken here. It's really not attached. It's just kind of flapping around. It's broke on the bottom. So it's not effective at all. And these bolts were off too, so this front end was clearly removed and reattached at some point for some reason. Brake fluid looks good and full. Alright, so the readiness test indicates that the vehicle don't have readiness yet and needs more driving. If it was to have an emission test done, it would definitely fail. Alright, I just performed an OBD scan on it, and it shows here that all these items in green have no trouble codes currently. And the one here in the red has to do with the driver's seat module. The engine control module currently has no fault codes. Having a look under the front here, I'm noticing some scratches on the front bumper cover. Looks like they kind of drove up on a couple parking stops here and there. I'm noticing scratches here on the bottom of the lower front control arm. There's some on this one too. I don't see any leaks. There should be a cover underneath this engine here. And for a very good reason, there's the starter right there. And you definitely don't want something to come up on the road and hit one of your wires. So you definitely need to put the cover on it. You know, and there's screws here missing. So this might flap going down the road and make noise. And that one's broke on the corner. Alright, looking inside the grill area, I'm noticing that this cooler is bent. You can see it through the grill. And I believe that this vehicle was in a front end collision here. And some of these parts were changed. See, it doesn't line up perfect. There's a little bend right there in the AC condenser, which could potentially leak. Noticing a lot of corrosion here on the top of the engine area. The alternator's got corrosion on it too. Looks like the hood was likely off this vehicle and it got rained on here. And it was outside. So I'm noticing some corrosion here on the back, and I'm also noticing here some scratches on this arm on the bottom, and this control arm is bent, and this one here was picked up. So this vehicle was picked up by an auto hauler where the forks slide under it. And when they picked it up, that's how it scratched the front ones, and it bent the rear. So this vehicle's wheel alignment's off. There's some corrosion here. So that's the rust on the bolt, and over time it actually will get worse. Alright, so one thing I'm noticing here is there's a problem with the shifter. I'm putting it into drive and it's not saying on the D. And the backup camera is still on. So there's an issue with the switch inside here. Alright, so I'm going to take it for a short ride because these tires are terrible. Alright, so the auto stop is working. Seemed to accelerate fine on that one. Noticing it pull to the left. Alright, so that was sport mode. Seems to be functioning normal. Going to the comfort mode. I'm driving it normal. Seems to be functioning. Vehicle pulls to the left. Seems to handle the corners fine. The brakes work. I'm going to do some circles here, see if I hear any abnormal noises. I just hear something rolling around in the back. Other than that, there's nothing audible wrong that I can hear. Alright. That was weird. I went, and when I went to put it in reverse, the vehicle shut off and turned back on. So there's an issue in the shifter, and that's pretty obvious here. So there's the backup camera. We're going to go to drive. The parking brake does not engage. There's nothing happening. So I suspect the switch is possibly bad or not plugged in. This all might have been taken off one time or something, and there's something not put together right. All the other controls and features seem to be working. Radio sounds pretty good. Alright, looks like these wiper blades are pretty bad. Oh, that blade is bad too. It wasn't very effective. Looks like it's deteriorated. Oil level's good and full. Has a lot of life. Looked pretty clean when I looked at it. Doesn't need an oil change for a while. Alright, so I'm noticing this backup camera is staying on extra long and the shifter isn't lighting the D correctly. And the parking brake is not functional. Alright, so I did notice when I got into a extra hard acceleration there was a little hesitation. Alright, so this time I did put it in park and the parking brake applied. So I'm not really sure why it's intermitting, but that's what's going on. Alright, so I got the misfire counter screen on and I just want to see if there's anything going on there. Nope. So it's not a misfire. I'm getting good data here. Alright, so I did feel like a little chatter again when I took off. It was almost like a little shudder. Alright, so I'm testing out the shifter here. Even though the light's not illuminating correctly in the right position, it's showing that I'm in the D. And then so when I'm in the N, here we're in neutral, reverse, neutral, drive. So even though I moved the shifter, it doesn't change that moment. Only one does here in this shifter area, and it affects that reverse camera. So I think the reverse camera has part of the actuation has to do with this mechanism. So the PCM showing to be 33,000 miles, 736, and mileage does match. There currently is no trouble codes in the transmission, neither on the engine side. Noticing the backup camera still on, and I'm in park. Been there for a hot minute, so that's why that's staying on, is because that it's not working correctly. I don't have any warning lights here. AC works. Tried the seat heaters, they all work. I just scanned it here again. I got no trouble codes except for this one. Heat works. Alright, so I've concluded here that this vehicle needs more driving time to get more data here, in case there's some trouble codes that haven't popped up because the codes were recently cleared. So I noticed there was a little bit of hesitation on a hard acceleration, you know, and I couldn't find a misfire, so could possibly maybe be some bad gas. I don't know yet. Definitely would recommend putting some premium in there and driving it for a little bit, and then rescanning it and checking that, see if anything changes or some data. Someone cleared the codes here, so we couldn't get a lot of information off of there. The tires, got to do something about that right away. They're not safe to drive on. I do believe the vehicle has the mileage that it says here on the instrument cluster. We'll be running a vehicle history report to confirm. Other than that, I've mentioned everything else here about the vehicle that I could find. Thanks for watching. Appreciate a thumbs up and subscribe.